I asked my wife to come and share a word with you. When I told her of my intentions, I think she was surprised. She thought you'd rather hear from somebody younger. I realize, though, that 50 is a lot younger than it used to be. And she has some really good things to share with you. Grace?
I was raised in a family who took me to church faithfully. And I'm glad for the example that my parents gave me, that Sunday was the day to go to church. It was the day that we met together with other believers. But one thing that I'm sorry to say is my church did not preach the gospel. And I never heard the gospel. And when I was 11, I got to go to camp, and it was at camp that a camp pastor explained the gospel. He said that everybody was sinners. Everybody has done things wrong that displeased the Lord. Well, I knew I was a sinner. Nobody had to tell me that. I knew I had done a lot of things that didn't please the Lord. And he said the payment for our wrong, according to Romans 6:23, was death. And he said that heaven was a perfect place and only for perfect people. And that really scared me because I wasn't perfect. I knew I was on my way to hell, like Romans 6:23 had said. But the pastor didn't stop there. He went on to explain the good news. He said, John 3:16 says, "For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whoever believeth in him should not perish but have everlasting life." And he went on to explain that verse to me, and I knew I needed the Lord in my life. And that day, I accepted him as my Savior. As time went by, I was saved. I was on my way to heaven, but popularity got really, really important to me. And at one point, I was wanting more popularity with man or with this world than I did with God. And at the age of 16, my best friend was killed in an automobile accident. And there I was facing life and death right before me. It was one of the hardest things I've gone through. But as I sat in that pew at her funeral, the Lord really spoke to me and helped me to realize that popularity with this world was going to get me nowhere. I needed to seek popularity with him. There in my seat, I said, God, forgive me for not putting you first in my life. And from then on, God changed my life. He was on the throne of my life. I wanted to serve him instead of self. I am so thankful for Romans 5:8. But God commendeth his love toward us, and that while we were yet sinners, Christ died for us.